Welcome back to the Relationship Refinery. I'm Asia, here to help you redefine as well as refine the way that you view healthy relationships. Have you ever been told that you can't truly learn to love someone else until you know how to love yourself? Well, it's true. And today we're going to be understanding how self-love can help you be better prepared for a healthy relationship. Or if you already are in a relationship, help you to understand how to enhance that relationship. By the end of today's video, my hope is that you have a better understanding of what self-love is, understanding that self-love is not selfish, as well as understanding the ways that you can increase your self-love. But of course, before we get started, make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time that I post a video. Without further ado, let's get started. So around the end of high school, beginning of college, I had low self-esteem. I did not feel pretty. There were a lot of moments. I did not feel pretty all the time, but there were a lot of moments where I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel smart. Even though I was going to one of the top schools in Texas, I didn't feel smart. I didn't feel pretty. I felt too skinny. I felt too this, not enough this. And it truly came from me looking at everyone else, looking at the accomplishments that everyone else was making, looking at everyone else's hair and hairstyles and body types, and not truly appreciating the person that God was trying to mold me to become. It was also a difficult time because this is a transitional stage from being a teen to becoming an adult. Although to me, you're still a teen even when you're up until you're about 25. To me, that's when you become an adult. But it was like I said, a transitional phase of me just getting away from parents and some friends and just being on my own. And that was really tough on me and on my self-esteem. And I know it made God sad because I was so busy wanting to be like everyone else in the culture that I was not listening to the spirit, because it's difficult when you are so busy, when you're so into the world and you're not listening to the spirit. You can't accept who God has called you to be, and it's difficult for you to accept God. As they say, comparison is truly the thief of joy, and it had taken all my joy. I just would wake up wanting to be someone else. So once again, during the end of high school, beginning of college, I started dating a young man, and let's just say that relationship was not healthy at all. It was pretty toxic. Now that I'm an adult and I'm looking back, and my brain is a lot more mature than it was then, I can say that it was not healthy. It's not a relationship that I would have recommended for, my future daughters, for my nieces, for anybody, honestly. But we were young and dumb. Not making excuses for it, but I know that a lot of it contributed to, or my low self-esteem contributed to me staying in the relationship. Not only that, our relationships can affect our self-esteem as well. And so this was not somebody who helped me to feel loved and helped me to feel desired and pretty and things like that. And that's, another conversation. Today we're focusing on our self-esteem and how other people encourage us to feel. But I know that I stayed in that relationship because I did not value myself. I did not truly see the person, the woman that, young lady that God was molding me to become. And I didn't set boundaries. We was on and off type of relationship, and I would take him back after dumb things, and it was just a mess. It was a hot mess. Thankfully, today my self-esteem is much higher, and I can truly appreciate this woman that God has called me to be. I mean, my smile is different, the look in my eyes are different, the way that I dress, the way that I walk, the way that I talk, the things that I accept are much different. Now, is it still an ongoing thing? Do I still have moments of feeling like, oh, I kind of wish that my hair was like hers, I kind of wish my body was like hers? Yes, and I have to remind myself that I am who God created me to be. But overall, things are so much better for me. And I can honestly say that because of my higher self-esteem, as well as other things as well. But if my self-esteem was not where it was when I met my future husband, we wouldn't be getting married. We would have never met. Either I would have self-sabotaged in the relationship, or I just wouldn't have even given him a chance, because that's what a lot of us women and men, that's what we tend to do. When we don't value our worth, we feel like that we deserve something less than what God has called us to accept. Matthew 22:37-39 encourages us to first and foremost love the Lord our God with all our hearts, all our minds, and all our souls. And then it says, the second commandment, which is just as great, is to love others as we love ourselves. So the first thing is we have to love God. And we can't truly love ourselves until we love God. Going back to the Asia that was in college and like I said, end of high school, I didn't fully love God. Because if I would have really loved God, I wouldn't have been like, God, why did you make me this way? Instead, I would have been like, thank you, God, for making me the way that you made me, because you made me this way for a purpose, you know? And then I couldn't love another person. I couldn't receive healthy love because I didn't fully love myself. So that's why it's saying it's in the order for a reason. It's not saying love others and then love yourself. It says love God so that you can love yourself. And then you got to love yourself so that you can love other people. The love we give ourselves has to pour into other people, whether it's romantic or our neighbors. You know, back in the day I say back in the day, but like in our childhood, teachers would tell us that, oh, that person is being a bully because they find issues within themselves. So they're taking it out on other people. And I mean, their parents and their romantic relationships that are not thriving because the people within them don't truly love themselves. And once again, you can't truly love who you are, who God has created you to be, if you do not first love God. It's more difficult for you to accept the 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7 type of love if you don't first feel like you deserve it. So some of the ways that I increased my self-esteem is, number one, I started doing things differently to enhance my relationship with God. I started reading the Bible because affirmations are important and being able to speak scripture over yourself. This was not one of the first things that I did though. But it is something that's super important. It's for you to find what does the Bible actually say about you or about his creations, and speak that over yourself. I also started praying, God, please help me to see myself the way that you see me. Not only did this help me to accept the things that were different from other people, but it also called me out on the things that I needed to improve. No more was I making excuses for my flaws, like my lustful thinking. No more was I just like putting a blanket over or sweeping it under the rug. But now I needed to address that because I knew that was something that hurt God. But then also I knew that the way that I talked to myself also hurt God, because I was his child and God loves me and he loves you, and he doesn't like the way that you speak to yourself. Because Proverbs 18:21 says that there is power in the tongue, power of life and death in the tongue. And so I was killing myself with the way that the thoughts that I had about myself or the things that I was saying, and you might be doing the same thing. So it's important for you to counter those thoughts, counter the things that you say. If you're like, oh, for me it was skinny. I just look so skinny in this outfit. Oh, I wish I was more curvy. If I was more curvy, then it would look better. I had to stop myself and say, nope, you look just fine in this outfit. Why? Because God made your body. A part of my growing closer to him was also in fasting from things that were bringing us further apart. So there was certain music that made me feel like, oh, I should be this type of woman. That was increasing my lust, and I had to cut back on that, or I had to, fast from it, just listen to gospel music for a period of time. There were also TV shows that I found myself constantly comparing myself to the women on the TV, to the celebrities, to, oh, I wish my body was like hers. Like I said, I wish my skin was like hers, my hair was like hers, this was like hers, my outfits and things like that. And I had to stop watching those things until I built my self-esteem up. And there's even some shows and artists that I don't even listen to anymore. And I try to listen to more, I try to feed myself more healthier things, more healthier TV shows and music, and just consume things overall in a better way than I was before. But those are some of the things I had to cut out. 2, I started taking better care of myself, because our bodies are a temple and they are not ours, they are the Lord's, or they're God's. We were bought at a price, as 1 Corinthians 6:18 says. 1 Corinthians 6:19-20 tells us that we were bought at a price, our bodies are not ours, and we must take care of our temple. So I started eating healthier, started exercising. Now, did I do a great job? No, I still don't do an amazing job all the time. But when I fall, I get back up. And when I was previously getting in the gym, I was getting in the gym so I can look like her. And instead I was like, you know what, I'm going to just go for a walk, not even try to get in the gym. Or I was stressing myself out trying to gain weight by eating, counting calories, and just, like I said, that whole situation was stressful. And so doing all these things, but instead I said, I'm going to make sure I eat enough, eat healthy, so that even if I gain weight, great. If I don't, oh well. But it's not so that I can look like her. I'm going to get more active for my health, not for my appearances, not so that I can look like this person or so that people can stop talking about how skinny I am. Because at the end of the day, God made my body the way that it is for a reason. And then the third thing that I did was I started affirming myself. I kind of talked about this before, so the power of the tongue. I reminded myself that you have power over your tongue. And so I would look at myself in the mirror and I would say, I like this, I like that. Even the things that I really didn't like, I would tell myself that I liked it over and over and over again until I eventually believed it. And I still do this today because, like I said, sometimes I still have moments of seeing someone just like, oh, and I have to, oh, nope, you're good, girl. This is the woman that God is calling you to be. Am I still growing and molding, being molded? Yes, but overall, you know, I still have some moments and I still have to affirm myself. And affirmations is starting to become I stopped for a long period of time, and I'm getting back to that daily affirming myself, to remind myself that when God created me, just like when he created you, he said it is good. Now, during this journey, because this was a long journey, this was not just a week-long or a month-long process. This took years for me to get to the place that I am now, and I'm still growing, as I've said over and over again. But I still didn't have the courage to end the relationship that I was in. But thankfully, he broke up with me. And I mean, I had my moments of being sad when it happened. But when I tell you, I had so much peace shortly afterwards. Like I said, we were doing this on and on again, off again type of thing. And so there were moments where we were off that I was super sad, and I was just like, oh God, I want to be back with him and stuff like that. Bring him back to me, you know, praying those dumb prayers. But when we broke up for good, after I was working on myself, when I tell you, I had so much peace about our breakup, to the point to where I was like, oh, this Asia could, if he tries to come back, or I can't try to go back to him, we can't get back together. It's not going to work out. And so even in, you know, like us seeing each other, like it was no desires for me to get back with him. I wanted nothing but the best for him. You know, I truly wanted nothing but the best for him, but I knew that we could not be together if I was going to continue on this journey. And that is how your self-esteem can positively impact your relationships, or I guess negatively as well, because my low self-esteem led to me entering into the relationship to begin with, or accepting the things that I shouldn't have accepted, letting him cross boundaries. But my increase in self-esteem, like I said, I'm getting married, but when I was dating, there were things that I was like, oh no, I'm not accepting that, because I knew my worth. I had prayed and I had reminded myself of who God had called me to be, who he said that I, as a Proverbs 31 woman, should be, and what type of husband of this Proverbs 31 woman should have. And some of the men that I came across were not it. Even though there were a lot of sweet, handsome, great guys, but they did not align with the vision, with the person that I felt like God was calling me to be. And if you're currently in a relationship and your self-esteem is low, you may start accusing this person of cheating, or just feeling like that this person is just not good, or it's too good for you, or you know, just accepting things from them. You may not be calling them out when they're crossing boundaries. So that's why it's important for you to recognize your worth. So my challenge for you, whether you are single or in a relationship, or you know, somewhere in between, is to really assess your self-esteem. Do you find yourself criticizing yourself, or like having negative self-talk? Do you find yourself comparing yourself to other people? Do you highly value other people's opinions and need validation from people? Do you neglect yourself by not exercising? And I'm not talking about going to the gym. I mean just getting exercise, or not eating right, or you know, just not taking care of yourself. Do you have difficulty setting boundaries with romantic partners, or in your current romantic relationship? And if that's the case, that's not God's will for you. God did not call you to live a life like that. You can't fully love your spouse or find your spouse if you do not first love yourself. And of course, first love God. You can't truly love yourself until you truly love God. And you cannot truly love someone else until you love yourself. So I wrote out a quick prayer that I would like for you to pray every day this week, or you know, every day this month. And that's, Father, help me to see myself the way that you see me. Help me to ignore the noise of the culture and tap into the spirit. Help me to pay attention to my tongue and speak life over myself. Help me to love you better by loving myself better. And then faith without works is dead. So make sure that you're not just praying this prayer, but that you're also doing something to better your self-esteem. So go get your hair done. Go get, go put on the outfit that you've been saying, oh, I'm going to wear it when I lose weight, or I'm going to wear it when I finally go here. Put it on anyway. Just go to the grocery store. It don't matter if it put some heels on, you know, put some perfume on. Just do the things that physically help you to feel better as well. Start setting those boundaries. If you know that there's a boundary that you need to set a small boundary so that you can get in the practice of just saying no. Or affirm yourself. That is super important for you to practice affirming who it is that you are. And then leave a comment in the comment section to let me know what it is that you did this week or this month to better your self-esteem. Thank you for watching this video. I truly hope that you found it helpful and that you better understand how self-esteem can negatively impact your romantic relationships. If you have any questions, make sure that you leave them in the comment section. But otherwise, make sure that you subscribe as well as hit the notification bell, as well as like this video and send it to a friend. May this journey of increasing your self-esteem be a beautiful one. And until next time.